Good day, everyone. I am RJ, a social scientist, and I have spent a significant portion of my career studying human behavior, social dynamics, and the intricate ways we construct our sense of self. I am here to guide you through a deeper exploration of a concept that is, at first glance, simple but holds an immense complexity. The idea that you're the most important character in your story. This might sound like an empowering statement, perhaps even a little self indulgent, but bear with me. It's not just a self help mantra, it's a powerful, transformative insight about how we perceive ourselves, our relationships, and the choices we make. To understand why this is so important, we have to dive into self awareness, not just as a psychological tool, but as a profound journey of soul education. Let's begin by defining the central idea. You're the most important character in your own story. Most of us live life as if we are spectators of our own existence. We let external circumstances shape us, our cultures, our families, our jobs, and societal expectations. We think of ourselves in terms of roles, titles, and obligations. But in doing so, we forget something fundamental. We are the architects of our own reality. If you've ever read a novel, you know that the protagonist is the driving force of the plot. The choices they make, the mistakes they make and learn from, and the transformations they undergo are what make the story meaningful. You are the protagonist of your own life. But this requires a level of self awareness many of us never fully cultivate. Self awareness, at its core, is the ability to observe your own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors from a perspective that is separate from the immediate experience. It is to step back and view your life with a critical, reflective eye. But it goes beyond just recognizing your thoughts or emotions. True self awareness allows you to understand why you think and feel the way you do, and how these inner states shape your outward actions and experiences. This kind of awareness takes work. It requires a deeper connection with your own mind and heart, as well as an ability to discern the patterns in your life. How many of us, for example, have fallen into repetitive cycles, whether it is self sabotage, toxic relationships, or unfulfilling jobs, without understanding the root causes? Without self awareness, we become victims of our own unconscious patterns. This is where soul education comes into play. Soul education is a framework that encourages you to not just observe your behaviors, but to engage with your inner self on a deeper, more spiritual level. It's about reconnecting with the essence of who you are, not just the surface level identity shaped by external forces, but the deeper truth that exists within. It's an education of the soul that teaches us to transcend limiting views of self and to explore the infinite dimensions of our potential. Soul education isn't about memorizing facts or learning predefined truths. It's a more profound kind of learning, one that requires constant questioning, reflection, and inner dialogue. It's not just an intellectual process, but a transformative one. You can think of soul education as a map for your own inner journey, guiding you to discover the deeper aspects of your identity, values, and purpose. What does this look like in practice? Let's explore a few key concepts. Number one, the mirror of self reflection. One of the first steps in soul education is self reflection, which involves looking inward, not in a judgmental way, but with curiosity and compassion. You examine your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that arise in different situations and ask, why am I feeling this way? What is this teaching me? Why am I reacting this way? For instance, when you feel anger arise in response to a situation, it is easy to assume that the anger is a simple reaction to the external events. But if you dig deeper, you might uncover underlying fears, insecurities, or unmet needs. The process of self reflection is like looking into the mirror. The more honestly you gaze into that mirror, the more you start to see your true reflection. This is not about idolizing yourself, but about recognizing yourself, your shadow, and your light. Number two is disrupting negative patterns. If we view our lives as stories, then we have recurring themes, motives, and patterns that show up. Often we are unaware of these patterns because they exist at a subconscious level. For instance, some individuals repeatedly find themselves in dysfunctional relationships or stuck in unfulfilling careers, believing it's a matter of bad luck or external circumstances. In reality, these patterns that are there are patterns that have been ingrained over time, patterns that need to be understood and broken. Soul education is about challenging these patterns and rewriting the narrative. It's not enough to just recognize a pattern, you must be willing to change it. Number three is listening to your intuition. Often we make decisions based on logic, reasoning, or opinions of others. But soul education teaches us to trust our intuition, to listen to that deeper, quieter voice that guides us from within. This is the voice of our soul, the true essence of who we are, and it is often drowned out by the noise of our everyday life. When we cultivate self awareness, we become better at discerning the subdued nudges that guide us towards our authentic path. This requires a level of stillness, something that the modern society often discourages. But without it, we remain disconnected from our true selves. Instead of living in alignment with our soul's purpose, we live life on the surface level. Number four, the importance of meaning and purpose. In soul education, we ask not just what we are doing, but why we are doing it. In a world that is often driven by achievement, productivity, and success, it's easy to be lost. It's easy to lose sight of why we do the things we do. Why are you pursuing that career? Why are you in that relationship? Does that career and or relationship align with your inner values? Or are you doing it because the society says it's the right thing to do? Meaning and purpose are essential aspects of self awareness. They are what transform ordinary actions into profound experiences. Without purpose, we drift through life like passengers rather than active participants. So, how does this all tie to that idea that you are the most important character in your story? When you cultivate self awareness and embark on soul education, you step into the role of the author of your own life. No longer are you merely reacting to external events, letting life happen to you. Instead, you begin to consciously choose your responses, learn from your mistakes, and evolve in a meaningful way. This process is dynamic, it's not linear. There will be moments of clarity, moments of struggle, and moments of deep transformation. But through it all, you are the central figure, the one who holds the pen, and who writes the dialogue, and who decides the direction of the plot. To truly embody these, you must take responsibility of your life, not in a burdensome or guilty driven way, but in an empowered and conscious way. You shape your life through the decisions you make, the mindset you cultivate, and the soul level awareness you develop. In closing, the journey of self-awareness in soul education is not a one-time event, but a lifelong process. You are the most important character in your story because you are the one who gets to decide how your story unfolds. By becoming more self aware, you align with your soul's deepest truths, break free from unconscious patterns, and step into your fullest potential. Thank you for joining me in this exploration. Remember, you're not just a passive character in the story of your life. You are the protagonist, the author, and the creator. The story is yours to shape, and the most important and powerful tool you have is the deep, unshakable awareness of who you truly are.